heavy, so just go to position, you can backtrack, and then I'll get you going right away.
Okay, taxi on down to backtrack 23, don't get 5 seconds.
535, the dash in hill will be on a 330 heading. I'd like you to turn right heading 300. Winds 25, no 25, got 31 knots, take off 23.
Departure heading 300, take off 23, just 535.
Good in over 3525, no inbound. Core 3525, Derek, good line 248, winds 240 at 20, got 31 knots.
Good line 240, good afternoon,
3384, clear land 248, winds 240 at 20, got 631 knots.
Clear to land runway 4.
Core 3525, exit rate 21.
Exit rate 21.
This is Fox Yankee Golf at Alpha Mike for the 3-day April.
Charlie Fox. Yankee Fox from Golf, ground. Alpha. Tango. Cross from Echo.
Alpha Tango, cross 33 right to Echo Fox Yankee Golf.
Yankee Fox from Golf for Fox Yankee Golf, I see it is. Hold short Echo.
Hello there, friends and followers, and welcome to this live stream. This is Q8Pilot, your host for tonight's flight from Charlie Yankee Yankee Zulu to Charlie Yankee Oscar Whiskey. This is probably my very first flight in Canada, and we are flying Air Canada today, flight 462. I want to welcome all of you to the stream tonight. We've got Stan. Hello, Stan. We've got Ayad. Itchbins, Airbus Aviator, Captain, Chad, we've got Ja, Bongo Fit, sorry if I didn't say that correctly, and we've got Omar on. Hello there, Leaf, hello there, my friend, how are you doing today? So today what we're going to be doing, we're going to be flying the 767 by flight factor, and throughout the flight I'll point out some pointers for you guys. I know some of you were asking me if this aircraft is worthwhile buying, and today is a chance for us to take a look at this aircraft. Now in terms of system simulation, this aircraft is quite advanced in terms of system simulation. If you guys can't hear me, or if you feel that the sound of the sim overpowers my voice at any point, please let me know. All right, so here's what we are going to be doing today. Let's hop into the cockpit, and the first thing we are going to do, we're going to bring up the iPad here, and we're going to set up our fuel and payload. So we're going to go first to ground, and we are at a gate configuration. We're going to bring up the GPU and the fuel truck, and excuse me, we're going to bring up our Avitab here and take a look at our fuel. Let's go ahead and scroll down to
1799, contact
page number 3. Excuse me. All right. So passengers 273, and we're going to go ahead and put 273, and for the cargo weight, we've got 1.8, we're just going to say 1800, and we are going to put for our fuel weight, let's see here, fuel we've got 19.5, I'm just going to say 19.6. And then we're going to say optimize CG. We are going to go to the airplane and we're just going to open all the doors and head back to operations. Hello, Ayad there. How are my friend? Benny, Scott, Greaser. Hello there. For all of those of you who just joined the stream. Very good to be here today. I know I haven't been doing much in terms of videos, but folks, I've been just swamped with stuff. So, okay, let's go to ground here and load. All right, so loading the plane, and the plane will be loaded momentarily. In the meantime, we can power up the aircraft. So we're going to head over here to the overhead panel, and we're going to bring up the battery. Battery is turned on, and ooh, that's probably because of the throttle. And standby power to auto. We're going to turn on external power. And you know what? Let's go ahead and turn on the APU-Gen and utility buses. By the way, this is the Q8Pilot checklist, so it's not exactly the right procedure to power up this aircraft, but it will do. And we're going to go ahead and set the ADIRS to nav mode.
1930, contact ground 1165.
And put that here. It should be, yeah, it should align quite quickly. The yaw dampers are on. We're going to turn on our hydraulic system. There we go. All looks good here, and we'll wait for the APU. Emergency lights are armed. We'll leave the fuel pumps for now, and we can leave all of that stuff as well. Window heat, we will go ahead and turn on, and we're going to turn on the passenger signs, both non-smoking and seatbelt signs. Good afternoon, Lewis. Hello there, my friend. Sven, we've got Almighty Star, Drashal. Hello there, folks, and welcome to the stream. Okay, so we are now going to head over here and we'll set the forward cabin air to auto. So we'll bring up some air to the cabin. Auto for the packs, isolation valves, APU, and looks like the APU is running now. So let's go ahead and turn on the APU bleed. Okay, so we are all configured here. We're going to set this to auto. And now we are pretty much ready to start programming the FMC. But before we do so, we're going to consult our plan here. And we're going to take a note of the final cruise altitude. Today is 31,000 feet out of Pearson International, and we're heading, of course, today from we're heading to Ottawa, and it's a short flight. It's approximately 51 minutes of airtime. All right, so we are going to set the altitude to 31,000 feet. And 31,000 is set. That's where we want this, and everything here looks good. Flight no, what is that? That is the flight director. We're going to go ahead and turn those on, and leave them there, and projected takeoff. All right. Next thing is we're going to go to the FMC, and we're going to bring up our flight plan, which is on the second page here. All right, so this is our flight plan. Quite simple, as you can see. Very short flight today. And this is, by the way, a real-world scheduled flight by Air Canada, and it is flown by the 767-300ER. So we're departing Pearson International, Charlie Yankee Zulu, runway 23 today through the Bordeaux 6 SID. The transition is LSEB, and then it is immediately our star at Ottawa, Capital 5, Charlie Yankee Oscar Whiskey, runway 25. This is an RNAV approach today into Ottawa. All right, so we're going to go to the FMC, position initialization. We're going to clear the scratch pad, and we're going to enter our departure airport which is Charlie, Yankee, Yankee, Zulu. And we're going to copy the GPS position. And we're going to go to route. We're going to stick that over here for the origin airport, and the destination airport is Charlie, Yankee, Oscar, Whiskey. Flight number today, we are Air Canada 462. Activate and execute. All right. Right, next we're going to go to departure and arrival. And we are going to be departing runway 23 today through the, let's see here, through the Verdo 6. That's the one there. LSUB is our transition. Selected, execute that. Let's go to the route. And next page. And as you can see now, we have the correct entries into the FMC, and there are no additional airways or waypoints to enter. So we're going to go to departure here again and select our arrival in the capital 5-star through the LSUB transition, and we are going to be landing runway 25. So we're going to go here, runway 25, Y, Y and Z. And by the way, I've looked over it. I've always wondered, why do you get the Y and Z? And this has to do with the minimums. So it has to do with the obstacles on your way to the airport, because RNAV is a satellite-based approach. It requires, well, I'm not sure if it requires GPS, but it just, the main purpose of it is to keep you out of obstacles as you approach the airport, as opposed to an ILS, which uses, it's got a localizer and a glide slope, and then uses the radio frequency. So let's go ahead and select Y, and let's see here. We can take a look at the flight plan to see if there are any. Let's look at the previous page. ELSA, VSOL. Yeah, I don't see any of these transitions here, so we're just going to say execute. We're going to go to the next page. You can see that there's vectors immediately after our departure. I'm going to go ahead and remove that and execute. And we're going to go to the next page. There's one discontinuity here, which we will clear, and then BISOL, and then as you can see, vectors to, there's another disco here, which we will clear. And then let's see here. Vectors, and that's runway 25. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at our flight plan real quick. So I'm going to just head over here, and we're going to switch this to plan. All right, so that's our plan here. So we're going to depart runway 23. Let's step through and see what this looks like. And that's what it looks like here. So we're going to come all the way here from LSUB to Canik. Let me increase the range here so we can see, I meant decrease the range. So it looks like, yeah, so we're going to come to Borig, and then from Borig we're going to, these are the vectors here. We can see it clearly here. So these are the vectors. So if we step just one more, right there. So that's going to be our final waypoint, and then we're going to basically intercept the ILS, or actually that's the approach there. So we're going to take the vectors. We can actually delete the vectors. We can come all the way here and select the vectors. But yeah, that's that's the last waypoint, and then it's vectors to final. So we're looking good. We'll worry about that when we get to it, but everything looks good now. All right, so we are good here. We're going to switch this back to the map, and we're going to decrease the range here. So that's us. We're going to push back and take runway 23 for departure. All right, again, let's go to the performance initialization, and the reserves for our flight today is, let's see here, if we look at our plan, not sure what I did there. There we go. All right, so if we calculate the alternate with the final reserves, that's 5.2, 3.7, that's about 4, 4 and 5 is about 9, so we're just going to say 9. There we go. Cruise altitude is 31,000 feet. Hello there, Airbus 5717, and welcome. And we're going to stick that over here. The cost index, folks, is 37. So we're going to enter 37 here. All right, looking good. And we are going to go to takeoff. We're going to do flaps 5 for departure today. And the CG27 trim is 1.3. Thrust, you know, we can put 6.5. There we go. D-rate, takeoff. We're going to turn on the speeds. And now we have 142 selected as V2. As you can see here, everything's set, and pre-flight is now complete, ladies and gentlemen. And what we can do at this point is we can close the doors, and we can get our pushback truck in position, and we can go ahead and set this to climb. All right, so everything's looking good. Let's switch this to auto, and we're going to do the same thing on this side here. Switch that to auto, and the computer needs to be turned on, which it is now, and everything else is looking good. All right, we can head over now to the overhead panel and turn on our fuel pumps, and we're going to turn on our position light and beacon lights, and we are now ready for the pushback. Before we do so, let's go ahead and take a look at the weather. Let's see here. Let me actually give you a quick brief here on the weather for both our departure airport and destination. Hello there, Richard. Hello there, greetings from Toronto. Hello there, my friend. Greetings from Q8.
Rouge 1804,
All right,
tower
let me see here if I
1835.
can grab the weather real quick for you guys. All right. So at Toronto, Lester Pearson International, the weather is 170 degrees, 4 knots wind, clouds few at 1400 AGL, overcast at 2200. Visibility is at least 24 kilometers. The temperature is 0 Celsius. Wow, quite cold there. Dew point 3 Celsius, humidity 80%, QNH is 1026. All right, so actually it's looking pretty good. Not really, you know, it's actually MVFR currently at Toronto. In Ottawa, McDonald-Cartier Airport, it's IFR, definitely, conditions are IFR. The wind is 240 at 5 knots. We've got overcast at 800 feet. Visibility is about 24 kilometers, minus 9 Celsius. Check it out. That's pretty cold. Humidity 92% and QNH 1026. All right, so let's go ahead and set the QNH for 1026 here. So let's first switch that. Yeah, there we go. All right, and we can now see the PFD clearly here, and we're going to set the QNH to 1206.
Ground Canada 6912 Tango.
All right, QNH is set,
Tango off Lima, call the ramp.
and we're going to do the same thing here. Let's make sure that we, actually let's head over here.
Ground exit jet 782.
All right, and 1206.
782, ground runway 23, altimeter 3019.
All right, and that is also set, and we are now ready to go, folks. We no longer need this one here. And as soon as we take off, we'll start using the iPad a little more, so you guys can get an appreciation for this aircraft and what it's got in terms of system simulation and some of its features. And we've got Carl. Welcome to the VVIP membership, my friend. Thank you very much for your support. Very happy to have you here. And you've been a long supporter of the channel. Thank you very much. It's been a while. Yes, absolutely. The family and I are doing great. I hope the same for you, my friend. And we've got also Dion from Qatar. Hello there, my friend. Welcome.
We've got whiskey, left turn Charlie on course 346.
Okay, so I'm going to set this back to the default mode, and everything here is looking good. And we can now call the pushback truck and get out of our position. Start pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
You know what? It's been doing some really strange thing, better pushback, so I'm just going to do this.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
All right, tow is driving up. All right, we can set our trim to 1.3, was it? Trim 1.3. All right, let's go ahead and set the trim. Let's remove this so we can see what's going on. And that's about right. That's where I'm looking, by the way, just for the trim when you set the trim. And I've got the trim map to my Alpha flight controls. All right, let's take a look at the... That's the pushback truck. Oh, we need to close the doors. So let's go to ground. And we can remove the fuel truck and GPU. Ooh, what did I do?
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
There we go. That's what I did. All right, we're getting power back to the aircraft now. Yeah, that was my bad. All right, so we've got the power. We've got everything here. Let's see, switch this to engines. Everything here looks good. I'm glad that we didn't lose any of that. We need... Ran, hello there, my friend. Rockon, hello there, Max. Welcome, Dougal. Hello there, my friend, and welcome. All right, we need to remove the... let's go to the airplane, ground. We need to... There's one more thing we need to do. Airplane, close all the doors. All right, so all the doors are now closed. And now,
tow connected and bike has been inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, we're ready to release the parking brake. There's a Turkish airline Boeing 777. All right, parking brake released. And you can see the jetway moving out of the way. And now we also have been cleared to start our engines. Look at that wing view. All right, so let's go ahead and set the... we're going to turn off the packs here, and we're going to set both to, and we'll start with the engine number 2 on ground, and then we can watch the engine spooling here. There we go, as you can see here, the engine's now spooling. Not sure what's going on with the better pushback, but it doesn't seem like it's pushing the aircraft anywhere. Is it? Oh well. Alright, well, let's go ahead and give it some fuel.
Okay, got you there. It's still a little bit
intermittent,
here.
But what's going on with better pushback?
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Alright, we'll just worry about this in a minute.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Alright, and we're going to go ahead and start engine number 1.
Route 1620, tower now 11835.
1835, Route 1620, good day.
Good day.
Hello there, Shamrock 118. Welcome to the stream. Is it Lalit? Please make a video of best freeware to make X-Plane 11 beautiful in 2020-2021. FS 2020 is a data hogger.
403, continue echo.
All right, let's dismiss and let's give fuel here. All All right, we're going to attempt to do the pushback again. Hopefully it will work. If not, then we're just going to wing it, if you will. We're going to go and just turn on this jetway here.
One northbound to pass off your right, then I'll have further for you.
F-Gang Gaming, hello, FT Gang Gaming. Hello there, my friend.
Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
All right, looks like we have a good start on both engines. Let's see if we can get better pushback to push us. Still, all right, still there. All right, let's see here. We can turn on the runway turn off lights. You know what, guys? I'm not going to waste time. We're just going to go ahead and turn on our packs. And we no longer need the APU. So APU is turned off. And we can leave the APU gen for now. All right, everything is looking good. So what we are going to do is we are going to release the parking brake. We're going to give the aircraft a little bit of power. And we're just going to move out of the position here. I actually not sure what is going on. But this aircraft doesn't seem like it wants to move. There we go, finally. So sorry guys, but that's the only way we can push back the aircraft or move it out of its position. So excuse that. We're going to do some unlawful business here. Let's hear those engines. You got it.
591 ground runway 23 information with altimeter 3020 Alpha hold short Alpha Kilo.
Alpha short Alpha Kilo Air Canada 591.
I actually have no clue which engines I've selected for this livery. But yeah, we're finally out of this mess.
Canada 591, continue via Alpha Hotel.
Something was, I think, holding the aircraft. All right, here we go. All right.
Thanks. Canada 609 left at Romeo, you're going to go in Alpha Tango, West Jet will give way, contact 13327. Okay, left Romeo in, Tango over to April here.
All right, so we're going to set our flaps to flaps 5. And this is a 767, so if I'm not mistaken, we need to turn on LNAV and VNAV.
Okay, give way to the aircraft coming in, signal on us.
Just look at that aircraft. Looks pretty good, huh? I like the Air Canada livery. And I kind of like this one more than I like the other one, right, like over there. It's got the black and red. This one looks fantastic.
Please adjust fast up your left side. It's going to go south on Alpha. Please make the turn on the trolley, just sequence behind you.
Yeah, the guys in the terminal have been... Alright, here we go.
Thank you, Air Canada 403, give way to company Embraer number 2 off the right side there. Taxi on Alpha, thanks. Alright, thank you. Wait for this 122.27. Very good, then good day.
That is 93, by the way, I think it's on the right side.
Some views for you guys
Thanks,
to enjoy the scenery. And this beautiful aircraft by Flight Factor.
Hello, Western 2702, ground runway 248. Information with altimeter 3020, taxi Bravo Charlie.
24 right 3020, taxi Bravo Charlie, Western 2702.
All right, we're looking all good now for our departure. We're going to go ahead and turn on the auto throttle. And everything is looking good. The runway should be right ahead of us there. I believe that's runway 23.
282 off your right side. There's
I think that's the beginning of the runway right there to our right.
Charlie. Caution jet blast, tower
A bit
1835.
too fast.
All right, behind Rouge on the Charlie, 10282.
So this is the, let's see here. All right, so this is the Verdo 6 departure. Runway 23 is our departing runway.
Thank you. Westjet 431, towers 18.7. Have a good flight.
Thank you, 7 Westjet 431. Have a good day.
You too. Air Canada 591, towers 18.7 for you as well. So long.
And there we go. All right, let's bring up the strokes. Landing lights are on.
24 right, information whiskey, altimeter 3019er.
And everything's
Taxi
looking
via
good.
Bravo, hold short of Delta.
Bravo, hold short of Delta.
That's actually the beginning of the runway. We could actually go this way. Yeah, let's do that. We could use some runway.
Turn 728 port round, runway 24 right, information whiskey, altimeter 3015.
Right, we are ready
Taxi
for
Delta Bob
takeoff.
behind the
Runway
Westjet
23.
37 from your right on Charlie, taxi via Charlie.
And we are going to make an immediate left.
Approaching
Delta
23.
5 behind the west at taxi on Charlie, Gremlin 728.
This is 2702, you're going to see traffic off your left side, 1900, it gives way to you, tower 1835.
Copy 1900, giving way around. Tower 1835, Westjet 2700, takeoff.
All right,
On
folks, we
runway
are lining
23.
up around runway 23. All right, we're ready to go, and going to bring up the power to about 40%.
Ground Westjet 245 with making the return Delta 8 Alpha 4.
Stable.
Pressure 245
And
on
Toga.
ground, Delta Echo, hold short Sierra.
Delta Echo.
Not sure
Delta
what's
245.
going on. Give it some more power.
Can 704
Doesn't
behind
seem like
United,
anything
continue
is
via
happening
Charlie.
here.
Charlie, can sun off one.
Strange. But we're not accelerating for some reason. There we go.
Ground 1 over 4067.
Something wasn't right,
Delta 4 going to Bravo 7.
but we should have enough runway to take off.
Echo, hold
All right,
short Sierra.
rotate.
Delta Echo, hold short Sierra, 467.
And positive rate of climb. Gear is going up.
Ground Westjet 245 with you on Echo, hold short 0.
Westjet 245, right turn at Romeo, cross runway 33 right, hold short of Bravo.
A Romeo 30, crossing 33 right, make sure Bravo. Close on.
And we are retracting the flaps now. That takeoff wasn't a very good takeoff. I'm not sure what was wrong with the thrust. But yeah, there was something definitely wrong. I might have done something wrong.
Aircan 704.
Yeah, I definitely could not abort the takeoff after the decision speed of V1. Right, and flaps are up. And we're totally in the clouds now. All right, and at this point we are going to go ahead and engage the autopilot.
Thank you.
Autopilot is now engaged. And if I'm not mistaken, the transition altitude in Canada is 18,000 feet. But guys, you can correct me if I'm wrong. We're going to adjust the range here a little bit. And we are going to bring up the terrain radar here. Oh, TCAS. So let's set that on TARA so that we can see the traffic. And that is an external view for you guys. Just really a lovely aircraft by Flight Factor. Thank you very much, user 454. Thanks for checking. I'm Sean, engine pressure ratio according to Google. And just look at that wing view. Just absolutely gorgeous. Very nice. All right, we are back in the cockpit here, and we are still at 240 knots as we are below 10,000 feet. We should start accelerating after we pass the 10,000 feet mark. And oh, this guy now is going to start annoying me, so I'm going to...
Captain, I regret to inform you that a chief flight attendant has been killed.
That's really funny. I laugh every time I hear this. But yeah, it's quite annoying. Are you using X-Enviro? No, I am not. So X-Enviro looks actually phenomenal. Looks very, very good. But unfortunately, it just the performance isn't there yet. And yeah, I decided not to use X-Enviro. I might do a video on X-Enviro. But yeah, for the streaming, it's going to be a little bit difficult to maintain a reasonable FPS with my settings, and I didn't want to compromise the settings just for the sake of X-Enviro. So these clouds actually are pretty good. Here, let's switch to external view. I think they look decent. They're not exactly my idea of you know, high fidelity, but you know, they're quite decent. They're okay, and those are, by the way, part of the X Vision impressive for Lua preset.
Jazz 534 ground, the ramp showing 110 for you occupied. Turn down 15 left, full short Romeo.
Down 15 left for the Romeo, Jazz 534.
Tango, contact ground, 121.
Has anyone used CloudArt plugin? I've used CloudArt myself. It's actually pretty good. But I haven't since the new build. I haven't really I haven't downloaded it. Looks like there is some traffic here. You can see there is an aircraft here coming our way. Let's see if we can see it from the outside.
7322, contact ground 1219.
No, we can. Yeah. All right, we're way above 10,000 feet. We can turn off our lights, and we can also release the passengers and cabin crew, and everything else here looks good. All right. All right, so I really like this flight factor. It's been updated to include some really nifty avionics options, which we'll take a look at in just a moment. All right, so 18,000. Let's go ahead and set the barrel reference to standard on both sides. All right, barrel reference is set, and we are on our way now to our final cruise altitude of 31,000 feet. So what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to go ahead and take a look here at this beautiful electronic flight bag by Flight Factor, quite advanced. And one of the nice things in this is the charts. So if we click on the Charlie Yankee Oscar Whiskey, which is our Ottawa, our arrival airport, as you can see, we can now actually take a look at all the charts, and we can take a look at our arrival. So this is actually our arrival into, and of course you do have to have a Navigraph subscription in order to use this feature. And we are landing runway 25. So this is our runway. I believe we selected C. So if we click here, you get the runway as well here. You get the charts and the altitude, recommended altitude, and all that good stuff. So yeah, I think this is a really good feature where you can access the charts directly from within the EFB. Of course, you always have AviTab, and we can access the charts from AviTab. But this is built-in. If you don't use AviTab, this is built-in with the aircraft. Some other things here, you've got the checklist which you can go through. There are different ways you can do this. You can either do this manually or you can use the amplified version. The amplified version will simply go step by step and will turn everything to green once you have successfully done it. Or you can actually select auto perform, and once you click perform, it will automatically configure the aircraft in the right way and in the right sequence for that specific checklist. So really nice features. Of course, you've got failures. You've got a lot of scenarios that you can, customize to your liking, enable them, and for an extra challenge, you've got your reports as well. Malfunctions, ground power connector is malfunctioning at this moment. Then you've got a multitude of options. Of course, I have the FPDS upgrade. So as you can see, you have for the ECAS and for all other items here, you've got several options to configure the aircraft to your liking. Operations is something we've seen, and general is something we've seen as well in the beginning of the stream. So outside view. Of course, here's an outside view of this Air Canada 767 Flight 462 service to Ottawa. Really beautiful aircraft. And there's an orbit scene for you guys. And here's a flyby as well.
Can 704 behind United, continue via Charlie.
Charlie, I can't send off one.
And by the way, the chatter that you hear is that of ex-ATC chatter. And we can bring maybe some panel lights here. Not sure. Well, I'll take that back.
704 behind United, continue via Charlie.
Alright, so we're almost there at our final altitude, cruise altitude of, so we're still in climb, yeah. Yeah, we're all looking good. Almost at 31,000 feet. And that's the 30,000 feet mark. And we have now reached our cruise altitude. Perfect. All right, so we're actually not too far from the top of descent. Yeah, we've got an aircraft here coming our way. Oh, there it is. I can see it.
Yeah, 29 left. It just landed.
That's the contrail, as you can see. Right there.
29, if he just wants to hold short there and Bravo for a minute, I'm going to check again here.
Let's switch to external view. Where's the aircraft?
Clear with you on Bravo.
Not sure where it went, but
114, I just hold short of Alpha.
Okay, so, yeah, TCAS alert. All right, so we are not too far from the top of descent point. As you can see, this is the top of descent point. So what we are going to do now is we are going to configure the aircraft for approach. A really short flight. So let's go ahead and go to the initial reference here, or approach reference, beg your pardon. And we're going to select flaps 30, and we're going to add 5 knots for the wind speed. Of course, there's no ILS because this is an RNAV approach. So we're going to select 30 and 137, 137. And that is selected there. And we can go back to the legs page now. And if we look here, we're actually in cruise. As you can see now, top of descent is in 33 nautical miles. So we're going to go ahead and reset the MCP altitude to 3,000 feet. And of course I got the platform altitude from the charts. But it should also be indicated somewhere here. So if you go to the next page, 5,000, 3,000, yeah, something like that. All right, well, what we can do is the following. We can go to our iPad, and we can go to the charts, and we can take a look here. As you can see, this is the this is runway 25, and we're going to actually, it's going to be about 2,000 feet. So 2,000 feet is the platform altitude, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead and decrease that by another 1,000 feet to 2,000. And now we are good, and everything's looking good. Right, so 24 nautical miles before top of descent. Okay. So, let's take some questions. Hello, I got a question in the Boeing 777 Worldliner Pro Extended Pack worth buying. Well, my friend, in all honesty, the 777 is unfortunately the only available 777, only decent available 777 for X-Plane 11. But in my view, the aircraft is dated. It was a good aircraft when it first came out, but it needs some serious work. I personally do not enjoy that aircraft. I think it's got a lot of things that are not modeled correctly. I know there has been a sound pack for it to kind of improve things a little bit, but the FMC still has a lot of errors, a lot of issues. The aircraft is dated, so in my view, it's not really worth the buy at this point in time. But of course, you might, if you like 777s, then you might enjoy that aircraft. Hey man, I like your videos. Would you do a tutorial how to fly the 747 and 787 in Microsoft Flight Simulator? How to download FATSIM? Sure, yeah, I can definitely consider those for future tutorials. Yeah. All right, so taking a look here at 12 nautical miles before top of descent, so we're not too far. Now, and we're going to begin the descent momentarily into Ottawa.
Ground border 481 is on Delta for gate 12.
Okay, you're most welcome, my friend.
That border 288 ground taxi Delta to the correction, that border 481 taxi Delta to the
but we just took off such a short flight. Yeah, believe it or not, it is a very short flight, and it is a real-world 767 flight by Air Canada. So I was actually surprised, but the way I do this, guys, is normally when I want to fly an aircraft, and the streams do take a lot of time to configure, and so I look for the short route through Sim Toolkit Pro. In my view, Sim Toolkit Pro is by far the very best electronic flight bag available out there. It is actually a lot more than an AFB. It is just jam-packed with features. It is available. It's a donationware, but it's actually free. I mean, you don't have to donate anything to use it. So yeah, I think it's a brilliant program. And all right, here's the top of descent, ladies and gentlemen. And we should momentarily begin the descent. I'm not sure why the aircraft hasn't begun the automatic descent yet, but it should.
Staff 29, truck 97+3, continue to the end, exit on Alpha.
Exit on Alpha 97+3, roger.
All right, here we go. All right, so we've begun the descent now. And we are descending to 2,000 from 30,000. There's a 20-minute Boeing 787 flight from Istanbul to Ankara. Oh wow, maybe I'll do that in Microsoft Flight Simulator maybe next week. You know, I think we did not hit these buttons as we took off, so that was probably my bad. Yeah. All right, so we continue now our descent. Let's switch to external view. Just look at that. Doesn't look bad at all, does it? And that's another thing missing in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The contrails is not available in Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is kind of a bummer. But this actually looks pretty good in my view. Hey Stan, hello there. Does this aircraft have the auto land feature? Yes, it does. So it's got the auto land feature. It works pretty well, actually. Which clouds do you have? So I'm using the X-Vision clouds. It's the impressive for Lua preset. It ships with these clouds. And also the sky colors is from that preset. The water textures and the lights. Those are all features of X-Vision. Unfortunately, the new version of X-Vision does not have the shaders, and so we'll have to do without them. Looking good. All right, let's take a look here. We are at 25,000 for 2,000, and I'm going to start bringing some panel lights now here to the cockpit, and maybe some glare sheet lights as well. There we go. All right. So we've got some lights here now, just in case. And everything is looking pretty good for our approach. Hopefully I'll be able to grease it so you guys can get a good show tonight. By the way, I'm planning a giveaway next week. So depending on whichever flight we do, whether it's MSFS or X-Plane, there will be some.
Please say a formula.
My phone is acting up. So yeah, there is going to be a giveaway. It's going to be gift certificates at the X-Plane Org store and the Sim Market store as well. I might throw in a couple more things depending on what I find. But yeah, in principle, this is what the giveaway is going to be on next week. So be sure to tune in, tell your friends to come over and watch the Q8 Pilot stream, and maybe they'll win something. And yeah, we continue our descent now. Now this is what we're going to be doing, folks. We are going to come here to Vissel, and then we're going to take this path here, and then it's going to be vectors to final. So we're going to have to basically change to heading mode to select the final approach. The sky colors are just phenomenal. Just look at that. It's pretty good, huh? Even if they don't win something, they'll learn something. Oh, thank you very much, Carl. I'm most humbled. Thank you. You're very kind. Right, here we go. We are now at 20,000. We're looking good. And we can actually increase the range here a bit. So, yeah, that's fine. Alright, let's go ahead and turn on the seatbelt signs. And non-smoking. (19,000 feet). Alright, let's very quickly check the altimeter at our destination. Just make sure that it hasn't changed. Let's see here. Alright, so the current conditions haven't changed much. We've got wind 190 at 6 knots, variable between 180 degrees and 250 degrees. Still an overcast, 800 feet AGL. Visibility at least 24 kilometers. Temperature is -9 Celsius. Dew point -10. And QNH is 1026. So pretty much the same information that we got at Toronto. Yeah, all's looking good, pretty good. Yeah. Alrighty, we are good, and all right, standard. So we're going to go ahead and set the barrel reference. Barrel reference is set, and then 1026. 1026 is set, and we're going to do the same thing here. Barrel reference set to 1026. There we go, and we are all configured now. We've got Irfan Ahmed saying, which software do you use to make the intro animations of your recorded videos? That would depend on which intro you're talking about. So I've used many software in the past for the intros. So if you tell me which intro, then maybe I can help you, because not all of them were done by myself. Joe says, I rely heavily on your aircraft reviews before purchase, so thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much, Joe. I really appreciate it. I'm very glad that the channel is of service to you and all the folks out there in this niche community. I'm really glad that I'm able to offer something useful to you guys. Crew Fish, can you please allow us the feature, show us the feature of the new 76 EFIT? I'm not sure which feature you're referring to, but this is the electronic flight bag, and if you go to the avionics here, so this here is actually is a feature of the PFD. What you see here is something that you'd get with the new update, the FPDS update, but I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to. The intro with the smoke. Oh, so the intro with the smoke is done using After Effects. That's how it's done. And it was actually done by someone. It wasn't done by myself. And there are actually, if you go to videohive.net, you'll find a lot of templates that will give you that same effect. So that's one place that I normally go to for a lot of my videos. So here, let's see here. All right. So we're looking good. And we are approaching, we are at 13,000 for 2,000. Let's switch to external view here, take a look. Yeah, so that's our turn here. We're going to make a turn here. We continue our descent. We're still looking good in terms of our altitude. And by the way, you can control even the brightness of, you know, the lights in your the instruments. You can control that through the electronic flight bag as well. How much is this plane? I'm not sure how much the plane is. I forget. But there are two versions. There's this version and there's the extended version. In my view, this aircraft is a lot of fun to fly. In terms of system simulation, it is quite complex in terms of system simulation. Now, there on the 757, there was a real-world pilot who told me that there are a lot of things that are missing and some things that are not accurately modeled. But I think all in all, this aircraft gives you an appreciation of what the 767 has in terms of systems. Of course, I cannot vouch for anything like the flight model or the accuracy of the systems, but just listening to real-world pilots flying this aircraft, they actually like it. But I don't think that it is a study-level simulation of the 767. So that is, of course, based, I'm saying this based on what I've heard from real-world pilots. So we're approaching 10,000 feet, and we should actually go below 250 knots. I can see that it's 240 here, but I can see that this hasn't changed yet. All right, let's go ahead and turn on our landing lights and runway turn-off lights and the wing lights. Wing lights. All right, speed to idle. We're going to go ahead and extend the speed brake just to help the aircraft decrease speed a bit quicker. And we're closing in to the 240 knots mark. Speed brake is now armed. And we're set the auto brake to 2 before I forget it. And everything's looking good. Actually, you can see now the cockpit lights. I think they look pretty good. And we are at, yeah, we're looking okay. And we keep descending now to 2,000 feet, which is our platform altitude. We're going to go ahead and decrease the range here to zoom in a little bit and kind of see what we're doing. $92. Wow, that's a lot. Hey Rand, how are you doing, my friend? G Artist, any word on X-Plane scenery upgrade? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you're referring to there in terms of scenery upgrade. Select panel, which PFD and FD options are now available. Oh, so this one is, this is completely new. And of course in the EFB the different options are all new. So yeah. All right, let's see here. We are now at 8,000 feet. We are looking good, 240 knots. We continue our descent to 2,000. We've got plenty of time to descend to our platform altitude. And here's a flyby for you guys. Oh, I didn't know they were working on a scenery engine, but I do know that they were working on a next generation weather for X-Plane 11. But I think it's going to be for X-Plane 12, not 11. All right, let's take a look here and see what we're doing, how we're doing. We are at 7,000 feet. We continue our descent. Everything's looking good. Let's see, we should be at 6288. So we might want to increase our rate of descent, but I'm going to wait just a little while because I think we're still looking good in terms of altitude. Actually, during nighttime, this cockpit looks pretty good in my view. Quite immersive. I like the glow, the glow of the lights here, and on the FMC. Looks like drag is required. All right, so let's extend the speed brakes once more, and make sure that we get the aircraft to the desired speed of 240 knots at this point. There we go. All right, so once we reach Carib, that's when we're going to switch to heading mode and head over here. That's, I believe, the runway, and it's going to be an RNAV approach into the airport, runway 25. What do you think about the upcoming Fly Factor 787? I'll tell you, I'm really waiting for it. I think it's going to be, from the screenshots, I think it's going to be awesome. From John Bongo Fed, yeah, it is. I bought the A300 recently. I'm enjoying it a lot. Was looking for another plane for a long haul. Yeah, the I-9 build A300 is the aircraft of the year for sure. Really brilliant aircraft. All right, so we are at 4,000. We need to decrease our speed, so let's extend these speed brakes here just a tad, and get our speed down to 230 knots. There we go, 230 knots. And we continue now our descent to 2,000. We're still looking good. All right, let me see here. I think we need to start decreasing our speed. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to VS. We're going to set this to 1,000 feet per minute, and we're going to decrease our speed to 210 knots. The final speed today, if we go to the reference here, is 30, flaps 30 and 137. So that actually needs to probably change. So let's go ahead and change that to 136. Doesn't really matter too much, but just for the sake of accuracy. There we go. And now we can go back to the legs page. And we're looking for 2,000. Let's go ahead and extend the speed brakes and get the speed down to 2,000. Beg your pardon, to 210 knots. Alright, that's 210, and we're going to go to flaps 1. Alrighty. Okay, so at this point, this is the point where we can switch to heading mode. So I'm going to go ahead and set the heading mode here to our next waypoint. And we're almost at the platform altitude. And we're looking good. We're like into the clouds right now. Probably not a bad idea to turn on the engine and wing anti-icing. Just to make sure. Alright, we're coming up to 2,000. And at this point, we're going to go to heading select. We're a bit too low, if you ask me. Just look at that wing condensation, just looks fabulous. Alrighty, let's take a look here. We're still at 200 and actually what we can do. You know, folks, we can do that. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to approach. Approach doesn't want to work. Huh. All right, let's do that. Approach doesn't want to work. Well, we're not too far away from the airport now. So let's go ahead and... Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Right, let's go ahead and decrease our speed to 170 knots. That's the runway. So that's the runway right ahead of us now. Not sure why the approach button won't engage, but that's alright. We can definitely land this aircraft. Visibility is good, so we have the runway in sight now. Oh, we need to go to flaps 5. We're still looking good. go ahead and select gear down. $160 knots. Approach doesn't want to work. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to 1,500, 1,300 feet, flight change. And let's go ahead into flaps 20. And let's decrease the speed to 136. Flaps 25. And flaps 30. All right, so at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take over. So I am going to just wait for the aircraft to stabilize 1,000 feet. So let's go ahead and disengage the autopilot. And we're going to disengage the auto throttle as well. And my aircraft oh, come on, don't do that to me. All right, that's much better. Oh, speed, speed, speed. We should be able to reduce the speed here. So we're coming in too fast.
2-5.
But I think we should be fine. Five hundred feet to go. We're too high and too fast. All right, 2 whites, 2 reds.
$100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
All right, and reversers are out. I can hear the passengers clapping in the back. And manual braking. And we'll just take the next taxiway. All right. So welcome to Ottawa, ladies and gentlemen.
Approaching 3-2.
Oh, that's another runway, but that's fine. We'll just take the runway, and there is another taxiway, but that's perfectly okay. Let's start retracting our flaps.
On runway 32.
All right, and we made it safely. It was a kind of an erratic approach, but nonetheless, we were able to handle it. All right, I can see there's an empty spot there, so let's go ahead and park the aircraft. And then we're going to take a look at our landing. Just a tad more. All right, here we go. Parking brake is set. All right, let's go ahead and turn on the APU. We should have actually turned on the APU earlier as we were taxiing to the gate, but that's all right. We're going to turn on the APU. APU generator is on, and everything else is, was that off? Alright, so everything here is looking good, and we can kill the engine fuel. Alright, so here's what we're going to do, folks. Let's go ahead and take a look at our landing. By the way, I don't have the landing grate, and I'm not sure if it was displayed, but yeah, you guys can let me know if you've seen it. Alright, let's see here. That's, there we go. All right.
Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain. Too...
So as you can see here, the erratic approach, we were a bit too high. We could have actually gone around, but I thought, you know, we were able to, at this point when I saw the 2 whites, 2 reds, I thought, you know, we're good, and let's go ahead and land the aircraft. Wasn't a bad landing, was it? Right, here, let's do it again, and let's see here. There we go. That's a nice nice view here, taking a look at the aircraft as we came into land. So basically, at this point, I idled the power completely because we kind of had to dive a little bit. There was a bit of a dive there to make sure that we, you know, land the aircraft where it's supposed to land on the runway. So I idled the power. And yeah, it turned out to be not too bad. There's a bit of a bounce there, but other than that, it's perfectly okay. Alright, let's just take a quick look at SimToolkit Pro. So the landing was recorded at 293 FPM, which is a bit hard. But nonetheless, you know, it was alright. We made it safely here to Ottawa, and it's looking pretty good. Well, folks, I hope that you've enjoyed this stream tonight. I certainly enjoyed being with you. If you have any questions, you can always post them in the comment section below. I think the plugin you're asking for is Extras Runway Awareness and Advisory System. Yes, that is the system, that is the plugin that will announce the runway as you approach the runway. If you are referring to the ATC chatter that you hear in the background, that's XATC chatter. I can very quickly show you guys this. So these are the plugins that I'm using. Of course, you can access the AFB here. I'm using Terrain Radar. I'm using SAM Extras. That's the runway advisory system. X Camera, Traffic Global. Then Nimbus, that's for Nimbus Airports. Fly with Lua, Better Pushback, AviTab, XP Realistic, and XATC Chatter for the chatter that you hear in the background. That's pretty much it. I want to thank you very much, guys, for tuning in today. Dougal, thank you very much for being here and moderating the chat. Really appreciate it. Appreciate all the support. Now, folks, be sure to tune in next week for the big giveaway. There's going to be some interesting gifts for you guys, so be sure to tune in and let your friends come and watch the channel and perhaps win something. And until next time, I want to wish you guys all a either good evening or good morning. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Bye-bye for now.
Yeah,